We all face problems in life, and it can be tough to know how to handle them. But the Stoics had some wisdom to share about this topic that can help guide us through difficult times. Epicurus once said, "It's not things that upset us, but our opinions about those things." This quote highlights the fact that our judgments and beliefs about events have a greater impact on our well-being than the events themselves. It's not the external circumstances that cause our distress, but rather our interpretation of those circumstances and our reaction to them. For example, if you lose your job, you might think, "It's terrible and catastrophic." But if you choose to see it as an opportunity to pursue new career opportunities or start a business, then it won't have the same negative effect on you. The key is to recognize that it's not the event itself that's the problem, but rather our perspective on it. Another helpful way to think about dealing with problems is to consider the advice given by Seneca. He said, "All my life I have been telling people to do what they want to do, and what they have to do are two different things. There are some things we want to do and some things we have to do. If we find ourselves in a situation where we have to make a difficult decision, we need to weigh the pros and cons and decide what is the best course of action. Sometimes doing what we want to do may not be the best choice, but doing what we have to do might be necessary. Ultimately, we have to do what we believe is right, even if it's not what we want to do." The Stoics also believed in the importance of focusing on what we can control and accepting what we can't. Epictetus said, "Some things are in our control and others not." It is easy to get caught up in worrying about all the things that could go wrong or all the things we can't change, but the Stoics remind us to take a step back and assess what is truly within our control. Once we identify the things we can control, we should focus our energy on them and let go of the things we can't. For example, if you are planning a trip, there are some things you can control, like the destination and the activities you will do. But there are also things you can't control, like the weather. Instead of stressing over the things you can't change, focus on the things you can control and accept the weather as it comes. By focusing on what we can control and accepting what we can't, we free ourselves from unnecessary worry and stress, and this can help us to respond more calmly and effectively to any problems that arise. Finally, it's important to remember that problems are a part of life. Even the most successful people face challenges and setbacks. But it's how we handle these problems that truly matters. By adopting a Stoic mindset and focusing on what we can control, being prepared for unexpected events, and taking action to improve our situation, we can navigate through any difficulties that come our way. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." So when faced with a problem, try to think positively and focus on the lessons that can be learned from the situation. Remember that even in difficult times, there is always something to be grateful for, and by cultivating gratitude, you can find happiness even in the midst of adversity. By incorporating these Stoic principles into our lives, we can learn how to deal with problems more effectively and become more resilient in the face of adversity. No matter what challenges we may encounter, we can trust that we have the inner strength and wisdom to overcome them and emerge even stronger on the other side.